I get it. You're probably thinking, hey Will, how is it possible to create a highly nutritious, protein-packed, high-carb meal in just 3 simple ingredients? Well, today I'm gonna show you 3 simple ingredients you can use, super simple. In under 5 minutes, you can create a muscle mass gain meal. So listen, there are only 3 ingredients that you're going to need today to create your mass gain meal. So number 1, what we're gonna use is we're gonna use sirloin steak. So this cut has about 200 calories and that's gonna boost our calorie intake in this meal. The second ingredient we're gonna need for our mass gain meal is some form of carbohydrate. So as a skinny guy, you're gonna work with high carbs and this is gonna be super beneficial for your performance in the gym. So what we have here is we have our brown rice. This is a complex carbohydrate, super good for maintaining steady energy levels throughout the day. So this is the second ingredient you're going to need for your mass gain meal. So our last ingredient is to make sure we're maintaining good overall health and we're getting enough vitamins and minerals in our diet. And the last one, I'm just gonna grab it from the fridge, is a simple frozen vegetable mix. It's super easy to prepare. It's super cheap. I got this for a couple dollars and it's gonna pack you with some awesome nutrients in your food. All right, welcome to my stovetop. As you can see, I already have my sirloin steak defrosted and ready to go. All I need to do is chuck it on a pan and it's gonna cook to perfection. But what I'm gonna quickly show you here is how to prepare your rice so it cooks to perfection. Now, if you haven't already watched my video on how to weigh and measure your foods, make sure to click somewhere on this video and watch that video right now so you know how to measure your foods with accuracy. But I'm not gonna go into too much detail today. I'm pretty much just gonna show you how to prepare your rice and make sure it's cooked to perfection. So I already have half a cup of rice weighed out here. Half a cup of rice is about 100 grams in my measurement. So I'm just gonna put that on the rice bowl here. I've tared it to 0 and I'm just gonna add my half cup of rice to the rice bowl. And now we're gonna wash it with water to clean the germs and make sure it cooks to perfection. All right, so I'm just gonna quickly wash the rice here. So I just rinse it with water. Then I just stir it real quick with my fingers. And then I just drain out the water. Make sure you don't lose any of the rice. So you can repeat this again, just to make sure you get any germs out. And again, rinse the water again. All right, so now we have the rice washed, we can add in the water and we can start cooking the rice. So a good rule of thumb for how much water you need for the rice is the 1-to-2 ratio. So for every cup of rice, you should be using 2 cups of water. So for me, I'm using half a cup of rice, so I'm gonna use 1 cup of water. And in my measurement, it's about 250 mils. So I've weighed that out and I'm just gonna chuck that in. So there we go, the water is in and I'm gonna put it in the rice cooker for it to cook. I'm gonna quickly show you how to cook your foods. And there's only really one thing that is super important in this case, and it's using a canola spray oil. So why do we use a canola spray oil on this coaching program? Well, it's because canola spray oil is super easy to control. For example, if we have olive oil and we put in a ton of olive oil, it's pretty much gonna screw up our calories. So with canola oil, I usually go with 2 to 3 sprays to spray the pan basically. So let's go with that, 1, 2, 3, and there we go. The oil is ready to go and all we need to do now is chuck in our meat and we can cook it to perfection. So now we have the oil in the pan, we want to turn the stove on and start cooking. So what I like to do is before I cook my meat, I want to make sure I prepare the vegetables first. So I put the stove on a low heat and I just want to make sure that the stove is nice and hot. So I just put my hand above the stove. Obviously try not to burn your hand, but you just want to feel that there's some warmth going on in the pan before you put in your vegetables. Alright, awesome. So now my pan is relatively warm. I'm going to throw in my vegetables and let them cook. So I'm going to chuck in my vegetables now. And what I actually like to do to speed up the cooking process is I'll turn it on a high heat for the meantime. And I'll basically just stir these veggies to get the heat throughout. And it's probably better if you defrost these veggies first. They'll actually cook through faster, but in this case, I didn't really defrost it. I just took it out of the fridge. But this is also okay. It's gonna cook through anyway. And if you want, you can also add some salt to season the veggies, but I like to keep it plain. So it should take you around 2 to 3 minutes to cook your veggies on the pan. And then once they're done, you just want to chuck them in a bowl. And then after that, we want to cook the steak. So now the veggies are done, I'm going to chuck them into the bowl. So I'm just going to throw these veggies in the bowl here. Alright, so now the vegetables are cooked. I've turned the stove off. What I like to do is I like to rinse this pan out because it's got a lot of basically the oil that's kind of turned black from the cooking. So I like to wash this out, so I've got a new pan ready for the steak. Alright, awesome. So now I've washed my pan. I'm going to add in another layer of canola oil again to cook the steak. And now I'm going to turn on my pan on medium heat and make sure the pan is nice and warm. When I throw on the steak, it's going to sizzle perfectly. Okay, so now I can feel that the pan is already nice and warm, so I can throw the steak on. And I usually cook the steak about 2 to 3 minutes per side to make sure it cooks through but isn't too well done. So my steak's pretty much done, and I've got my rice here. And I've flipped it a couple times just to make sure it's cooked through. And voila, it is done. I'm just pretty much going to put it on this bed of rice and serve it with my vegetables. So there you go, a super simple 3-step mass gain meal to help you pack on more weight and bulk up this month.